Hi, thanks for joining us today. My name is Robin Henderson, and I am speaking today to Jill Sweatman. Jill is known as the Brain Whisperer. She's a neuroscience specialist in education, learning, and development. Hi, Jill.
Hello, Robin. Lovely to be with you.
Thank you. So, we've been talking about your ignorance journal, your questioning journal. Would you like to just explain to the listeners what that is?
I'd love to, Robin. You know, many years ago, I heard of a woman called Professor Anne Kerwin, who at the time was with the University of Arizona. And she'd done some work with Dr. Marlee Switt, also involved with looking at ignorance as a particular topic in the medical profession. And this kind of piqued my interest because I thought, why would the medical profession be interested in looking at ignorance when they have to provide answers so quickly?
Sure.
And their focus was on saying, we often give information, but the information is only what we know at a particular point in time. You know, science is only truth until further notice. What we often sometimes give is misinformation. And the notion was, where are we taking our students? Where are we taking our colleagues and our friends? Do we want them to go further than what we think we know? So their idea was to focus their students on where were the gaps, what was not known, and get them to appreciate that and to go into that realm rather than just stay with what currently we know. I thought that was fascinating.
It is, and so relevant, I think, to corporate Australia as well, isn't it?
Sure.
It's like we're working on this project. Well, what don't we know? Or we're trying to get this business. What don't we know about this client or our product or their product or what we're doing?
That's right.
Okay, so how does that tie in then? How do you present that to your students or to your clients?
Well, the interesting thing was I heard that Anne Kerwin called it an ignorance log. And I think sometimes the word ignorance gets a little bit of a bad rap, a little
Negative,
bit like,
for sure.
a
Yeah,
little bit
so
like this.
the dummies,
That's
yes.
right, yeah. But the notion of curiosity and ignorance and questioning is a triad in and of itself. So I
Yes.
posed to my very clever, very intelligent, very committed petroleum students that I didn't want them to record what we'd done in class. I wanted them to record what what was going on in their minds? Where were they taking their thinking? What questions were they asking of themselves as a result of the work that we were doing? And yeah, and they enjoyed it. So it took some of them a little while to kind of work out where I was really headed with that. But interestingly, at the end of the semester, several of the students came to me and said, what I'm presenting is a very personal journal. This is a very personal account, and this is for your eyes only. And I saw that as an enormous compliment that they'd
Yes.
actually taken themselves to that level.
Yes. And that's one of the challenges I'd imagine with students and with corporate clients, that vulnerability, being prepared to show that in an office or an organization, where to admit that you don't know something, again, that label around ignorance can be it's high risk in some organizations, because it's like dismissing a person. Oh, you don't even know what that is. Whereas you might know, 10 out of 10 on another area, but very little about this one little area, but you're prepared to admit it. And that takes courage and bravery.
Robin, it does, and so beautifully said. Ignorance is not bliss. And to have somebody who is prepared to question, who has the courage, who has the humility, who has the boldness in a way, and also the desire to know what it is they don't know.
Yes.
So there are enormous benefits. I mean, as you know, you want people to be asking you about the work that you're doing, not pretending that they already know.
They know that they know. And that is the thing of asking the question. And I'll always, for some time, have always said, oh, look, do you mind if I ask a dumb question? And of course, whoever I'm talking to says, oh, there are no dumb questions. But you sort of think sometimes they go, didn't she get this? And that is that being prepared. Because I always think if I don't understand it, there must be others in the room that don't understand it as well.
Yes, indeed. And you're right, there are no dumb questions. And sometimes people have to hear something a second time, or in fairness to them, they're processing it in a way where they
Yes.
wish to hear it in a different way.
A different way, same
Yeah.
information in a different way.
Yeah.
Yes. So how do you describe that ignorance log now? What do you call it?
Yeah, I call it a questioning journal. And I
Yes.
think we can all benefit from having a questioning journal, is identifying the things that we don't know, because in identifying that, all of a sudden those things start to become part of our sphere of thinking and then
Yes.
become part of our knowledge base. And I think whether it's in the corporate world or whether it's with my university students or anybody in any discipline, background knowledge is very important, but again, that background knowledge is going to change over time. And that's merely the foundation, that's just the springboard to take someone to the next level of their thinking. They're the people I want to employ, they're the people that I want in my classroom.
Yes, yes, yes. That's really the key, isn't it? It's
Mm.
looking for the brightest who are prepared to be that little bit vulnerable, very honest, very authentic, admit I don't know or I want to know more, and then that smart leader or smart lecturer in a university situation who doesn't look down on them, but encourages those questions.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
And when you're the person at the front of the room, or you're indeed sitting as a participant in any learning situation, just having somebody ask you questions is inspiring, because it
absolutely.
brings
Yeah.
something else out in the lecturer or the person at the front, or could be the
Yes.
CEO, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
and that will spark something with the people around you as well, which is the joy, of course, of being in a learning group, and certainly with willing and open minds.
Yes, that's right. And it lifts the whole energy.
Yeah,
Jill, we'll leave it there and we'll be back tomorrow with more questions. Thank you.
terrific. Pleasure. Thank you, Robin.